Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. I'm very excited to get back to our regular scheduled program here, even though tier day is always one of my favorite days. So you guys can absolutely go check out the best of one tier deck. Additionally, stay tuned for the best of three. Today's deck is a top 500 deck for you, one that I've been toying with a little bit myself. Additionally, I believe this one is a great shell. Obviously, it's top 500 and excited to play that for you today. But before we go ahead and take a look at this deck, as always, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, you can like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well to stay up to date on content like this. All right, so what deck am I talking about? Well, my friends, we have a Orzhov Aggro deck. So I'm pretty pumped about this. I had been playing around a little bit, like I mentioned, on some of my styles, and I'm excited to build off this one a little bit more. So with that said, for those of you that are new, Orzhov Aggro is the white and black combination, or plains and swamp combination that gives us the Orzhov guild. Additionally, what aggro means, again, that we've discussed, is really that front end of the curve focus and really pinging in with consistent damage early on. It gives us an advantage against mid-range and slower range decks mid-range and long-term range decks at pace, but that is the key to this deck. So without really getting into some of the cards here, we'll save that for a minute because I will discuss kind of the mechanics of this deck in a moment. Additionally, we'll talk through the deck, we'll take a look at the sideboard, and then we'll talk about sideboarding, and then close out, as always, with our best of one and best of three. So for those of you that are new and those of you that are returning, as always, this deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you have access to it right away. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek at these cards, and then we'll come back and discuss them a little bit more in detail. And quickly here, we are running some modal lands, and we do have 22 lands, which is great. What is interesting about this deck that I did in mine that I don't see here is we do have the modal land for Emeria Shattered Skyclave, a great finisher card. But I would mine that I was running actually ran Hogras in terms of an instant kill spell. I do like Legion Angel here as the one of, because that gives us access to 2 or 3 more in the sideboard, which you see there, which is pretty exciting. And continuing to work our way backwards here from Zendikar's Rising, we do have Archon of Emeria. So we've talked about this one a little bit before. This is really about shutting down cards, multiple casting, things like into the wilderness, I believe it is, or Escape to the Wild. Sorry, Escape to the Wild, into the wilderness. Escape to the Wild. Some of the other ramp cards, and really helps us kind of control on good old Omnath. And we got another one here coming up soon that I do want to talk about as we work backwards this time. Maul of the Skyclaves is a very important card for this deck. It allows us to play cheap creatures and then drop this on 3 and make a big flying flyer, which is very important. I really like Skyclave Apparition. You've seen this in some of the other decks that we've played, like Esper and a few others. I believe it's also potentially in the mono white deck. But this creature, when it enters the battlefield, we can exile target non-land, non-token permanent we don't control with cost 4 or less. And then when this creature leaves, they get a whatever XX blue illusion creature token. I think that's a pretty good trade-off, to be honest. Next, we have General Kudrow of Draenith. So this is not a newcomer, but one from Ikoria. I really like this blend and the one of here. It makes a lot of other creatures a little bit more powerful, and then that addition of that exile and destroy creatures can be pretty important for us. Here's the one that I do want to spend a moment on. So Draenith of Magistrate. So a lot of times this card's ran in the sideboard. It's a great mainboard card, especially with Omnath. Again, this is going to shut down things like Escape to the Wilds. Additionally, do some damage on the teamer. And lastly, even some of the, again, our opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. So this will help shut some of the stuff out of the graveyard too. Next, we got Luminarch Aspirant. Obviously, we've talked about this before as a very powerful card, also in the White Weenies deck. It does a lot of things and works really well. It gets big fast if it can't be removed. Next, we have Seasoned Hellblade, a very nice card, as we know, indestructible protection with that discard there. Next, we have Dire Tactics. This one, again, being a familiar face for my Ikoria. This is really good against creature-based decks. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the sideboard. Next, we have Generals and Enforcers. So legendary humans we control get indestructible. We also get exile cards from a graveyard, so that pairs really well with some of that control later game. And additionally, we'll get a human token for that as well. Then in our 1 slots here, we got some common cards in terms of white archetype, usually here with Giant Killer, a great card to take out some creatures. Additionally, the tap down, and then we have Selfless Savior here, a great card for maintaining board control and keeping some of our other creatures alive as we build that board state. Last but not least, we have Blood Chief's Thirst, obviously a great ZNR card from even though it's a sorcery spell, the ability to destroy target creature or planeswalker and then kick it for another 3 to go above that 2 mana cost constraint and target whatever is pretty powerful even at sorcery spell. So that is a mouthful, Planeswalkers. That is about the deck. Those are some of the key components and considerations. Again, Orzhov is the white-black color pairing. It gives us good access to a lot of different things here between those two, particularly a lot of the exile and direct damage, and then obviously the nice pairing from Ikoria here. So a very, very interesting take, which I like, and a different look. This particular deck is by the player of the name BMO, so I should have mentioned that before, so congrats BMO on hitting top 500 with this deck as well. Quickly here, sideboard, because this will be important. We have Blood Chief's Thirst, so we already have one of those. Again, we've covered what this card does, so where do I play this? I play this against aggro decks, I play this against creature-based decks, so that's going to be mono red, mono black, mono white. Particularly, you can also obviously play this against things like on-math decks. It will take those creatures off the board. Primarily, you're probably going to want to play it against ramp, not necessarily the Adventures one. It can be a little bit slower. Obviously, it will work. Next, we have Kitesail Freebooter. This is a good one against, to be honest, rogue decks. Getting cards out of their hand, holding them down. They don't have as much direct damage in those decks necessarily. They do have Drawn and Lock and sometimes lethal cards, but this is not a bad one to see their hand. Additionally, this works well against Clover decks and other control decks. And then again, I would even play Blood Chief's Thirst against some of those road decks as well. Now, Skyclave Shade, I absolutely love this edition of this card in the sideboard. It is wonderful when you're getting milled out, so this is great against the rogue decks. It's also really good potentially against some of the mill and Omnath decks as well. And it trades well, which is good. So those are some key things to think about. Next, we got Dire Tactics. So again, we got one in there already. This is really a creature-based card. I would play this again against any of those aggro decks that we mentioned. So you could even add in Gruul Adventures decks in there, and then Gruul Aggro Midrange. You could run this potentially against the Rakdos Midrange decks. Those are all good things, and then it would be good against the Rogues deck as well, and then even the Selesnya one. Next, we got Archon of Emeria. We already covered this card, so we have two in the main board, 2 in the sideboard. Again, any deck that's trying to capitalize on multiple casts, you're absolutely going to play this card. Next, we got General Cudgel of Drannith. We already got one. I would play this more so against some of the aggro decks anytime that you need to get stuff out of someone's graveyard as well. So this could be against a Croxa deck, which again is primarily the Rakdos ones. Or if you do run into a good old Zereth from the Rogues deck, something like this could help you as well, because when paired with this is exile from a target graveyard. Even though this is exiling from your opponent's graveyard, you're going to want to, again, that could be tricky. Sorry, I probably misstated that there, because Zereth's going to target your graveyard and this guy doesn't help you, but General's Enforcer does. So we'll walk that one back. Anyway, again, where would I play this? Strengthen your creature base. Aggro's not bad. And then again, like we did mention, if you do need to get things out of your opponent's graveyard, that could be a good one for you too. So another card to lock your opponents out, along with Drannith Magistrate, is Kunaros, Hound of Aetheros. So I really enjoy this card. I've done a Brawl video on this in the past, but Vigilance, Menace, and Lifelink's very good, and then creature cards and graveyards can't enter the battlefield, and players can't cast spells from graveyards. So just another one to help you kind of lock out. A good option there is going to be the Croxa decks or any of those sacrifice type decks that are floating around. Then we have Legion Angel that pairs really well here. If you are going up against some flyers, potentially Dimmer Rogues, you might want to flip one in and have two to get access a little bit better of your sideboard here, as just a thought. So again, running 24 lands, perfect for an aggro deck, even in best of one, because we do have some of the fabled passages here for deck thinning. Not a bad choice. You guys know me, I like to run more at 22. I would prefer probably to go 18 here, and then add in another 2 of the Hagra Maulers as an option. But I really like the makeup here, and the interest in Kudrow and General's Enforcer and the leverage of Dire Tactics, because I think that's really powerful in the format here. Whew. All right, so how do we sideboard? Some of the things that we talked about, I think it's going to be important. If you're not playing creature-based cards, decks, you got Giant Killer. You also have that is something you can obviously remove. You may want to consider Selfless Savior. You could go a little bit lower on that tier 1 or the turn 1 and put some of these other things in there to help you get there. Additionally, the big one here is Dire Tactics. So if they're not running creature-based cards, you obviously are going to want to get rid of this. It's not going to really help you. So that's a big consideration. I don't think I would hold this around necessarily for the good old Flying Sharks and some of those control decks, but it is a consideration you have to make. I would actually prefer to keep Blood Chiefs and go at a little bit slower pace. However, very situational. So I would look at that. We got about 6 cards that we could cut there. If they're not playing a ton of permanents, Skyclave Apparition is another one, but this pairs really well against Omnath as well. So those are some good options there. That gives us about 10 cards to really think about how we want to move through here, whether it's aggro-y type decks, whether it's control type decks, and then whether it's really the Omnath-based meta that we're going to probably face. So, all right, Planeswalkers, there we go. We have it. Questions, comments down below, deck list down below. Let's go play some competitive Magic, because that is exactly what we want to do on this Friday. Here we go. And we'll save and exit. And I'm still got to go play my F&M here. All right. Standard ranked with our top 500 Orzhov Aggro. All right, Planeswalkers, as always, before we get started here, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate your support. Before we play Jeffro Dip, please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, if you like the video, please like it. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch as well to stay up to date on content like this. All right, decisions. I will keep this. We have a 3 mana, which is exactly what we need here to get to Maul. We also have 2 Luminarch Aspirants, so this seems good to me. Oh, and additionally, the Magistrate here, which is going to be really crucial for us for if we are playing Omnath, but I don't think so. We got Hagra here, so it's probably going to be most likely a Rakdos Midrange. There you go. Good old Maze Mine there. So we're going to get big fast, hopefully. Bummer. We're getting rid of Maze Mind right away. They were slow playing it. We're gonna make them pay for it. So we know, ooh, should have known better. Actually, it's a Grixis control deck, not Rakdos Midrange. Should have known that with the Maze Mind, actually. However, I've seen some versions with that. Alright, so we want to see if we can lock them out. That was why I was trying to go with Luminarch there. We will certainly put them all on Draenith. Magistrate here. So it's a pretty interesting matchup. And let me see if I can make this a little bit brighter. Apologies. There we go. Lots of mana. Lots of mana. Let's go thin our deck. Dun dun dun. There we go. Tricky, 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 tricky. Well, good news is we got 4, so we can move it over next turn. Not too shabby.
Close your eyes and dream of me.
All right.
Fade into the shadows.
So we'll hang on to that. We'll put that down there. Now this can't target. Unfortunately, what we probably would like. So we'll see if they have another one of those. We've got 2 of their 4 in like 10 cards. No creatures. So we're going to get rid of Enforcer there.
You will feel inspired.
We will play the game. we will play the game. Don't have the right color schema. We'll bring them back next turn. Ah, good timing. Good timing. So we will do this. I hate when it does that. Alright. Getting close. Getting close with our Orzhov Aggro deck. Alright. Good game. We got it. We locked him out. Woo. Nice job against Grixis. We are Platinum Tier 2 halfway through, so making progress. Again, haven't had a lot of time here to spend, but love making these videos for you guys. So this is where I do devote my time in the interim. Okay. All right, on to the next one here. Shooting for our another second win here, hopefully for best of one today. Warfire 222. Maybe we can get the play. Maybe. Ah, there we go. That's what we needed. We'll take it. 2 reasons. Again, I like this guy right off the bat. We got 2 lethals here. We can go to Fabled Passage and Lockdown with Skyclave early on. We're going to need something though, like that Sky Maul or Luminarch to help us really break through. So let's see what we can do. Oof. Dimir, Temple of Deceit. There we go. So we got that. So turn 3 is potentially going to be Skyclave. Probably Maul. Unless they go for the kill here. Ooh, even better. Even better. We are going to go with the Maul. I'm going to let him do the damage. Yeah. So we got an exile here too. So they got the drown and lock counter. There it is. So we'll take that off the board. We got 2 things here, you guys. Need the creature. I think we do this. Then I think it is that. Then it's decisions on, there we go. So they discard when they become untapped, then they gotta pay 2. So we'll kill them hopefully before they come. Oh, untapped. Didn't happen. Did not happen. Good news is we can kick and kill Zera. Get rid of Pilfered. So unfortunately on the auto tap there, we could have, and I should have caught this and played it a little bit slower, we could have played those three and dropped Giant Killer, which would have been better for us next turn. But I think hopefully we'll be okay here. We'll see what they play. There's a chance to come back here. This deck needs a little bit of life gain, potentially. So the trick with this one, so this gives us 2/2. Yes, if they swing in with both cards, we gotta kill Soaring Thief first. That'll give Merfolk 1. We got First Strike, so that's gonna remove that. Oh, they had it. They got pretty lucky there. Oof. Not that we were doing any better, but nice top deck for them. All right, so 1-1 in best of 1, not bad. We'll move into our best of 3 here with our Orzhov Aggro deck and see how that goes. So we do got some good options in terms of sideboarding here that I'm pretty excited about. So let's go ahead and play our traditional standard ranked with our Orzhov Aggro deck. It is on, my friends. Now quickly here, as always, I just want to say thank you, appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, you can like the video if you like it. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. All right, so we are first. Let's take it. We got some good stuff here. We will keep it. We'll dig. We'll keep. Ooh, Rakdos, it looks like to start. So I'm going to go Enforcer first this time. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Not going to say anything there. We will do this. Oh, there was another Luminarch there. That would have been nice. Here we go. So we can do a few things here. Swinging with the team. There we go. got a few options. Alright, we're still holding in. So if they don't remove Enforcer, we'll have lethal. Most likely they're going to play Rankle or something. Oh, or that. Or that. So we'll do a few things here. We'll keep him on the board. Keep him on the board and we're good. Throw a Skyclave on and we're good. Oh, there you go, Rankle. We're going to protect our hand with the swamp. Oh, look at that. There we go. That's what I wanted to clip here. No reason to protect. Only reason to thin right now. They can't use castle. Oh. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Alright, so we'll go into the next match. That is unfortunate. We ran out of juice there. So 1-1, best of 1. Now we get some sideboard options. So what do we want to do here? We're going to want to play this guy. I might put another general in there. I like the kite sails. It does got a lot of lethal though. Maybe we don't do that. Doubling up on spells, we don't need too much. I like the flying though. I'm going to pop the shades in for the discard. We can keep Giant Killer in there. I think Dire Tactics is good. We need to keep that. I might go one down. I might drop a land. Actually, no, I like these better. Let's see here. What are we running? 24. Let's drop one of those and one of those. We'll go 22. To be more aggressive, Legion Angel we can keep. I'll take Blood Chiefs. I drop 2 Selfless Saviors there. So mainly we're going to play 2 slot. We're going to play Exile and Draneth there. Alright, let's do it. Boom. On to match 2 here for our best of 3 against YD Naz. So really a Rakdos Midrange, which is a good matchup. We're gonna take a mulligan. That's a bad mulligan. A real bad mulligan, but we'll keep 6 anyway. I'm gonna drop one of those. I'm tempted though to keep them just for the deck thinning, to be honest. That we can keep. Here comes BO1. Who wouldn't have thunk? Who wouldn't have thunk? Oh, there we go. Look at that. We are going to get some good deck thinning here, so hopefully we can get some playables in the next few draws. They got a lot of stuff. We don't have a lot of stuff right now. It's not good. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. There we go. So, 2 things. 1, we can take this guy off. 2, we're going to play Luminarch. And we'll go on Skyclave here. Opens Luminarch up for this, but... oh, we'll see. We know that that's who they're going to target. Yeah, that's why I did that. Then that gives us an opportunity to do this. Shut down the graveyard if they play Croxa and load up with all of the Skyclaves. Ooh, that's nice. Here we go. Here's our shade. We're gonna run into problems here though with Nighthawk pretty fast. We need an exile card or a lethal card. So here comes Croxa if they're removing that guy off the board. Ooh, Chandler, there you go. Oh, my friends, not good enough for best of 3 today. All right, we are gonna say good game and peace out here. All right, so there we have it, Planeswalkers. I didn't do it because they're gonna attack in, doesn't matter. So unfortunately, we stayed at Platinum Tier 2 today with our Orzhov Aggro deck. Best of 3 match did not go well. We didn't split. We did split in best of 1, which is good. A good opportunity to take a look at a different kind of a deck. Again, here we are with our Orzhov Aggro. Pretty interesting. Again, top 500 nonetheless. And excels, I guess, you know, honestly, in that best of 3. So if you got questions, comments, let me know down below. Always happy to help answer those. This will be interesting to see how this one evolves over time. But again, an interesting take on an interesting deck nonetheless. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. All right, Planeswalkers, you stay safe. As always, appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, feel free to like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this. Stay tuned for more decks coming your way, top decks. Additionally, best of 3 tier lists, so stay close. I'm getting excited for that one as well. Then we'll do similar style, a more skinny version, and then blow it out as we cover more decks like these. So, Planeswalkers, we'll see you again soon. Take care. Mythras out. Enjoy your weekend.